Yo, it's Riker. What is up, you amazing, beautiful people? I hope you are doing well, wherever you are at, whatever time of day or night you do end up watching this video, because I have an SU-130pm review for you guys today. So if you do end up liking this video, smash that like button, leave a comment of what tank I should do a review on next. Go ahead and leave that in the comment section below, subscribe, and hit this bell notification so you're always notified when I upload a new video. And that being said, let's get right into the stats of this tank. For the survivability of this tank, you have 1,166 hit points. For the main armor, you basically have no armor at all, so I'm not going to read those stats. You are just paper. Anything and everything can basically pin you, and if you get HE'd, you most likely will get wrecked, so avoid getting shot pretty much at all cost. And you have a 12% chance of catching fire when the engine is hit. That is actually relatively low to all the other tanks that I've been reviewing. Most of them are 20%, which is pretty high, and this is pretty low, so that is always a bonus. For the view range, you do have 264 meters. And for concealment, you have 67% while stationary, 46 while moving, and 15 upon firing while stationary. For the fire of the tank, it is 2,665 damage per minute. For the reload time, it is 10.36 seconds. For the average penetration, for the AP is 245. For the heat, it is going to be 318. And for the high explosive, it is going to be 65. For the average damage, for the AP is going to be 460. For the heat, it is going to be 390. And for the high explosive, it is going to be 600. For the aiming time, it is going to be 4.2 seconds. For the dispersion, at 100 meters, it will be 0.3117 meters. For the gun turn limit, basically your gun elevation is going to be 16 degrees, and for gun depression, it is going to be 7. If I am correct, it is at least 1 or 2 degrees better than the Scorpion, and that is why I do kind of choose this tank a little bit over the Scorpion, but I'll save that in the Scorpion versus SU-130pm battle, if you would say, that I will be doing. And for the gun turn limit, for left and right, it will be 70 degrees. I just hit puberty again. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna go get some water so I do not have any more voice cracks. And if you guys are watching this video, go ahead and take a sip of water. Go ahead, be healthy, and stay hydrated. For the maneuverability, for the top speed going forward will be 50 kilometers per hour, and for reverse, it will be 20. For the average speed, it will be 37 kilometers per hour. For the power to weight ratio, it is going to be 22.9 horsepower per ton. For the weight, it is going to be 23.78 tons. For the haul turn rate, you will have 46.52 degrees, and for the terrain crossing capacity, for the road will be 92%, for the ground 74%, and for the water, it will be 37%. And finally, for the engine power, it is going to be 544 horsepower. That will do it for the stats part of this tank. Overall, this tank, for the gameplay, I have noticed, it's similar to the Scorpion G in many ways, and in other ways, they are their own separate tank that feel completely different, if that makes any sense. I'll try to explain that better in the Scorpion versus the SU video that I will be making. But for that battle, I did get a first class, 3,366 damage and 3 tanks destroyed, and we're on top of the leaderboard for that battle. But now I am going to go into how I would play this tank and how you should play this tank overall. And I will try to use this battle right here to demonstrate some points of how I play this tank, just to give some examples. But for the most part, I would mostly stay back because they're, like I said in the stats part when I got to the armor, you are just paper. Everything and anything can pin you, and they will most likely try to HE the crap out of you. So staying back, I know for the most part I'm going past my medium tanks because they don't seem like they know how to play the game too well. They just sat back and didn't move until I moved past them. But get into a position like this where there is some cover, could be bushes, could be hard cover. Poke out and get shots off on the enemy that is spotted. Let your team go ahead and start taking the hits for you, because this tank cannot take any hits. I mean, occasionally you will get the troll or lucky bounce. That's pretty much on every tank, you get those. But stay back, aim in, and snipe. Just whittle the enemy down and support your team. This is mainly a support tank. And you guys are going to see during this battle that Tiger 1 that I was shooting at, I think there's 1 or 2 shots I take at them and nothing happens. They just disappear. I think this is one of those shots. Right there, I aim, I shoot, nothing happens. No idea why that's happening, but it is what it is. But yeah, stay back, support your team. That is a big role of this tank. And I say this a lot, but it always depends on the battle situation and your surroundings, how the battle is going. If it is going pretty well, if you guys need a push now, like all that situational stuff. If you have to push when you have to, push smart, and don't be stupid about pushing. Don't YOLO. Be smart when you have to move up and be aggressive. In this position, I have shots on the enemy heavy tanks, and I'm supporting my heavy tanks. While at the same time, I'm keeping an eye on these medium tanks over here, supporting my Drac and I think it's the MO1 that came over here. Like right then, the T95E2 pushed up, and I got a nice HE shot into him and lit him on fire, doing 890 damage, which is pretty insane. And then I finish him off, so that MO1 did not take any damage from him at all. And now I am pushing up because I know this is the time to be aggressive based off the battle situation. We outnumber these enemy tanks, and they are both one-shots. And even if they did get shots on us, we are pretty healthy. So I did push up, take out that Gravedigger, and our Drag did take out the other enemy tank. I think it was the medium tank, I can't remember. And I noticed that the enemy tank was spotted, one of the heavy tanks, the E75 to be specific. So I stopped, started backing up, and he tried to predict where I was going and shot, and the shot went flying, and I got back to cover safely. So you always have to keep an eye on your surroundings, on the battle situation, so you could outplay your enemy. It's always about outplaying your enemy and working with your team. I push up. I should have shot earlier, like sooner, before that E75 got a shot into me, because I did take a hit, and I am now one shot. MO1 is pushing me, and that was the time that I decided to be aggressive, because he was one shot. There's only 2 enemy tanks left, so I decided to take that risk, move up, and take him out of the game. And luckily our MO1 was behind us. I noticed him on the minimap, but I wasn't sure if he was going to push completely, so I backed up, so then the enemy could chase me out into the open, and my team could light them up, and I could get some extra shots on them. But luckily our MO1 did push him back, unload his clip into him, and I finished him off. For the first class, 3,300 damage, very good credits. This tank is a very good credit maker, like the Scorpion, very good credit maker. So if you want a good credit making tank that overall performs very good and fits your playstyle, I think this tank is pretty good. And we do get the Top Gun, and our second on the leaderboard actually. In this next battle, I pretty much carried my team. I was doing almost all the damage, and this will demonstrate how to be super aggressive in this tank, because at times I can be a passive player, but I still love being super aggressive. That's just my playstyle, being out in the open, brawling out. Even in these squishy tanks, I love doing it, because I kind of developed a way where I'm smart about it, and I know when to do it. Well, before I just kind of YOLO'd. Sometimes I still do, and it pays the price. But anyways, let's get into this battle, because on this map specifically, if you are in a relatively fast tank, this tank is decently fast, you cut across between those buildings, that little opening there, and get into the B base cap area. I'll show you guys later, because I wasn't quite able to make it there, since the T-28 was there and an enemy team did start pushing up before I could get there, and I did not want to take too much damage. So I did start backing up, and as you can see right here, demonstrating the lucky bounces that I'm getting from that Predator, and I did get a shot into that T-28, which is very good. And I've already done close to 1,000 damage in just a minute, so this tank is very effective with putting out the damage. Focusing in on that Tankenstein, and this is a Russian gun, this is a Russian tank, so either your shots are pinned just right on the target, just straight on, or they just go flying wherever, or they just don't penetrate at all, like that shot on the Tankenstein. He came out sideways, I shot him just center of that tank, and it didn't go in at all. But right here, this is the position I'm talking about. I see my opportunity, push up, be super aggressive, and this is the position right there that I'm going to. These buildings here, if you could get here before the enemy team pushes up there on this map, you could get some very effective shots in on that hill and any TDs over in the TD spot, and also in Bushka's office. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I'll try to point it out later in this video, but if you know what I'm talking about, that is also a very effective spot to be in. But I got some shots on the enemy team, and there's the T-28. Try to aim in, but the shot did not connect at all. But you can see you could either poke out into the open or use that little space between the buildings and the rocks as cover. Now I'm about to take out that Ho-Ri right there. And I was honestly expecting my team to push up when I moved over here, but luckily they didn't, because that one heavy tank didn't quite get the name of the heavy tank. I think it was the AMX on our team, so thank God he stayed back, because he is now a one-shot. If he went out into the open, he would have been deleted. And it looks like the rest of our friendly team is over near the TD spots, getting shots in, but I do most of the damage over here up on the front line, taking out these enemy tanks, pushing up. I see the ISU. I know he's an extremely dangerous tank, so I see opportunity to get a shot into him, whittle him down, and back up to cover, because if I get hit by him, I'm either deleted from the game or absolute one shot if he gets a very nice HE shell into me. And I decide to take a risk, push out. He did, he did get a shot into me, but luckily it was not HE, and I got a shot in return on him, and he is a one shot. This T28, he is now a one shot too, and I tracked him in place. And I was hoping my team would take him out, so I do end up calling for backup, hoping my team takes advantage of the one shot. And I thought they were just gonna ignore it, but the SU did take him out. Thank God. Having good teammates is a blessing in this game, because there are so many bad teams. You guys have all been there, you know what I mean. If you have made it this far and you have heard that, go ahead and comment down below your worst experience with a bad team, or how many bad teams you have gotten, if Wargaming should actually fix that somehow. I don't know how they're going to fix it, but somehow, you know. And I see that those two enemy tanks over there, the SU and the the Predator, were both one shots or relatively close to being one shot, so I left them for my team to take care of. I went over here to go against the T-54E2 Shark. I'm just going to call it the Shark. I got a shot into him, tracked him in place, and he is being super aggressive. At the time of this video, I did not have the tank, and I did not know the reload of it at all. So I backed down into this little ravine. Now I was hoping he could chase me so I could get a shot in under him and at least ram him for some damage. But he did not chase me at all, and he started backing up. And I noticed that the Predator is pushing up, and he is close to Bushka's office. If you just go over that little hill there, that is Bushka's office, and he is taken out by our team. And I try to get a shot in on the Shark right here, aiming in, take a shot, but it just hits the ground, barely hitting him at all, which is very unfortunate. And our team does take out the SU, which is very good for us. And that FV, shout out to him. I don't know if he actually did quite a bit of damage, but he is doing an amazing job of keeping the Shark spotted and distracting him, not getting taken out of the game. That is also a very effective way to play the game, just keeping the enemy tanks spotted so that your team can take them out. And it looks like he got a shot into the Shark if that was not one of our teammates. And our teammates are pushing up with us. If you see on the little mini-map, the two TDs are pushing up, about to go up the hill. And right now I thought the Shark was distracted, and I don't think I was spotted, so I decided to push up very aggressively with my last 8 AP shell. I take a shot, and I don't know where it goes. It was right on him, center mass. You guys saw that. Try to get a shot in, but it just disappeared. And he managed to take us out of the game, which is very unfortunate. If we did get the shot in, it would have most likely been a mastery, because we did some pretty good damage. And I think we got a good amount of XP. But the SU did push up and take him out of the game to avenge us. And we do get the first class, obviously. If we got that shot in, like I said, could have been a mastery. 4,421 damage, 100k credits, and 2 takes destroyed. This is an extremely good credit maker. And like I said right there, 1,167, a little bit more, probably would have aced it. But what do I think about this tank? Overall, I believe this tank is 100% worth it, and you should get it. Very good. Overall, just if you know how to play the Scorpion, I believe this tank is the Scorpion, just with some better features, as long as you know how to play the tank and you know what you're doing. So 100%, go ahead and get it. I love the tank, one of my favorite tanks in the game. So if you have liked the video, smash the like button, leave a comment if your favorite part of the video or anything in general down in the comment section below. Subscribe and hit that bell notification so you're always notified when I upload a new video. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.
How does it feel to breathe when you're dead?